Onions are always the very first thing that I sow indoors, so I'm gonna take you along with me and show you the whole process. I'm gonna be planting yellow onions today. So a few things that are an absolute necessity for me when planting my onions, or really any plant that I sow indoors, is I have a solid 10-20 tray. And then I have a mesh 10-20 tray that fits right inside. The reason I like the mesh tray inside of the solid tray is I like to bottom water. So once the plants start popping through the soil, I will start bottom watering. I'll just lift this up a little bit, water underneath, and then set it back down. And that way the roots can reach down into the water and create a really strong root system. The mesh tray allows for water to come up and meet the roots. So there's no need to water on the top, and you can bottom water just fine like this. The next thing I'm going to be using is a soil blocker. And I like using this better than the plastic seed cell trays. For one, I'm not using plastic and I'm not wasting material, and I can use this year after year. And two, I just never had great luck with the plastic seed cells. Once I took my seedling out of the cell, it would sometimes fall apart. It would go into shock once you put it in the garden and kind of get set back. So I like to use the soil blocker to prevent those problems from happening. Another thing that I like to use is a good organic seed starting mix. This is Purple Cow Organic. You can also just use potting soil mix, but I've always had good luck with the seed starting mix and this particular brand. So this is what I like to use. Also, we're going to be adding some worm castings to that as well. Another thing that I like to have on hand is a tote like this. This is where I mix my soil. So I'll take the whole bag of the seed starting mix, add some worm castings to it, add my water to it, mix it up. And if I don't use all of it at one time, I can just throw the lid on it and set it to the side, and it's ready for me for the next time that I want to plant any seeds. So first things first, let's go ahead and start mixing up our soil. As you can see, I do already have soil in here. I've already been planting, but I just want to show you the process and how I do this. So I'll be adding some more, plus I'll go through all of this soil within the next, couple months. It's all gonna be used. Here's my worm castings. A little does go a long way. This bag will last me a while. And then we're just going to mix it up. Then we're going to be adding warm water to this. And we want to add just enough that when we hold it in our hand, it holds its shape. And I'll show you what that looks like. And then we're going to mix it up. So when I grab the soil and squeeze it in my hand and I let go, it holds its shape. And this is what we want to see. This is when we know we've added just the right amount of water. And now we can bring our trays out. And again, we're having a solid one on the bottom and then the mesh tray over top. We can start using the soil blocker to add our blocks. So we're just going to press down in the soil, applying some pressure so that the block stays in one piece. And when you pick it up, you will notice that it's a bit rounded here. So we're just going to scrape it off so that it sits flat on our tray. And we're just gonna press down. You'll notice that this particular soil blocker leaves a little indent in each of the blocks, and that way you can plant your seed there. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue filling that tray. Now that we've created all of our soil blocks, we're gonna go ahead and plant the onions. And we're gonna be planting these 1/4 inch deep. And I'm just gonna put them right in the indent that my soil blocker created for me. And then we'll cover them with soil afterward. Now I'm just gonna sprinkle some soil over top of where we planted the seeds. Again, they only need to be 1/4 inch deep. Something I forgot to mention in the beginning was that onions need to be in 75-degree soil or above in order to germinate. So in order to achieve that, I'm going to use a heat mat just so I know that they're at least 75 degrees and I know that they'll germinate. But once they start to emerge through the soil, then I will remove the heat mat because they will no longer need it. They just need it in order to germinate. The last thing I add is a humidity dome, but I will remove this once they emerge through the soil. After they emerge through the soil and I remove the humidity dome and the heat mat, I will then add a grow light. They don't need it right now for the time being. If you have them and they're already there, then go ahead and turn them on. But I took mine down last year, so I will be hanging them up and turning them on once they emerge through the soil. So it'll be about 7 to 10 days. And that's starting onion seeds indoors. Make sure that you're subscribed to our channel because over the next couple weeks, we're gonna be planting herbs and peppers, and I'll be bringing you along to show you that entire process as well.